Hi everyone. So for my spiritual direction talk today, what I'm focusing on, I'm going back and reading. This is the book that they gave us. Well, we had to buy it, but this is Ronald Mercier S.J.'s book that we had to get. And so I did another reading from there, and this one was on Landscapes of the Soul by Douglas Popera. So there's an interesting way that you can look at life, and my godmother and I always say, this God has a wicked sense of humor. People plan and God laughs. And isn't that true? In America, they say, why should we care? What has it got to do with us? And you'll find that when you talk to Americans, they'll say, what has it got to do with us? That's your life, that's your family. And that's very true of Canada too. They'll say, what does it have to do with us? So he's asked the question, are there any moral purposes to which Americans commit their lives? When you tell them something, and this is very true of Canada too, when you work in the corporate world, when you work in banking, when you work at teleperformance, even in healthcare, when you tell them something, they'll say, Quo Vadis, what truth? That's your truth. It's relative to you. It's not relative to me. So there's it's a very soulless society with a loss of meaning that comes into our life because the belief and the feeling are disconnected. They don't meet in the society. And I guess for me, I ask, what is the central concern of my life? And that comes from Paul Tillich. What is the central concern of my life? Of how I am to live, of how I am to be in this society. Because often, and everyone gets into arguments with me about this, and I tell them that's your decision. Like when you talk about abortion, you talk about euthanasia, you talk about all these things, they're like, why should we agree with you? But if you've been informed in Catholic social teaching, if you've been educated in the teachings of the church, you have to make your own decision on that. Like somebody like me can walk alongside you, we can help you to reflect, we can help you to discern what it is that you are thinking about. And we may even tell you that in the church teachings, what you are saying is wrong. And I go back to the example of abortion because it's a very, very personal decision. People will often say, oh, that's wrong. What about the life of the baby? And what about the life of the mother? So it's an interesting culture to live in because even I remember when I used to work in the banks, I used to tell them, this AIDS, it didn't come from a monkey. They infected people, and they're like, oh no, it didn't. There's all the scientific evidence, there's all the data. So now, after I've been here since 2002, now Rishi Sunak released the information saying that yes, they sent contaminated blood to the UK, and they're paying those families money. So that's the ultimate thing, isn't it, for them? It's like you don't appreciate money. It's not about God. It's not about that feeling for God, that intimacy with God, that moving into prayer with God. It's not about that and what comes out of that. It's about money. They gave you their money. So if they gave you their money, then you should do something for them. And even when I came here, I was shocked because we took a course on the introduction to project management, and I was one of the first to participate in it with HRPA. So the person that was training us was telling us that, oh, if you get into an accident or something like that, they'll compensate you depending on which part of your body you lost. I was like, what? I've never heard of this. So everything is about money here. And it took me a long, long time to understand that, there's a big disconnect here. And even like when you live in community, it's different compared to when you're living on your own. And even in COVID, we saw that, where people were reporting us, whoever was going to church, to the police, and telling them that, oh, we're standing inside the church at the back. There's a big, big distance between the back of our church and the front of our church here at Blessed Sacrament. There's a big distance, but they made an issue of it. But everybody else who was walking in the park without their masks, protesting, burning down buildings, no one had any problem with them. Only with us. So I guess it comes down to asking ourselves, what is the truth, really? And like Alice down the rabbit hole, where the caterpillar asks her, who are you? Because through everything I go through everything that I endure, through everything that I have to stand up to, I know that I'm a daughter of God. Even if my mother turns against me, or my father turns against me, or my family turns against me, it doesn't take away from the fact that I'm a child of God. And the same thing happens with our wars, with the war in Ukraine. It was an unprovoked attack, just like the war that's taking place now with Hamas. But some people are saying, well, those people were suffering there. So does that justify an unprovoked attack? Does it? Because that's what happens to me in the workplace. And instead of people supporting me, instead of people giving me better paid jobs, helping me, they're like, well, you keep quiet. Don't say anything. And those same people, Wasif went and he got a job at BMO, a very good job, well-paid job. He's happy. He's working in finance. And what has happened to my life? Omar also got a better paid job. He's working for one of the electricity producers. They're like, we can't take this anymore. So how come I can't get a job? I'm the one that guided them. I'm the one that helped them. I'm the one that asked Omar. Omar knows I helped him. So how come I'm not getting those good paid jobs? How come I'm not getting those opportunities here in North America? Even in the church, how come I'm not getting them? Because the church says, oh, we live in community, capitalism is bad, everybody needs to have a living wage, everyone needs to have a home. So why is it that it's for everybody else except for me and my mom? Why? If I put videos of me dancing, Facebook starts blocking them. Millions of people do it, but only mine will get blocked. It will get frozen in the middle of the dance. The same with my Elvis Presley, with my singing with him. It must be because I'm a spiritual director, or it must be because of my faith. I can't see why all of this is happening. I can't. Are there any moral purposes to which Americans commit their lives? They all say they believe in God, or a large majority of them, even in Canada. But how is that lived out? Even I was talking to my cousin Sharon, and she was telling me about a book that she read about the priests and how they go out and they help the poor. And she was saying, how often do we do that? So I said to her, well, I do a lot in Canada. I help at the out of the cold when they want me. If I see homeless people, I'll buy them things. But I've also pulled back now because of sometimes the people, they have mental health problems or they have drug addictions, and you offer them something and they turn around and attack you. So I've also pulled back a lot. I just help in the church wherever I can. But it's an interesting way to see things, because I didn't go around telling everybody what I was doing, talking about my volunteering, about how I got involved, where I was helping. I just went about and did it as part of my life. But what reward have I got back in Canada? I've gotten my health taken away from me. I've been stopped from going to religious services for our main religious services. I've been made unemployed because of other people's mistakes. That's my reward from Canada. Canada and America are the same when it comes to their morality. They're the same. Because it's that loss of meaning in society. It's that loss of, and when you lose your soul, it's very hard to get it back. It's very hard. If you give your soul to Satan or to the devil, or you say, yeah, I believe in God, but actually you're doing things that are taking you away from God, then that's not belief in God. And the spiritual direction profession is very, very special because you are asking people about their soul. It's not clinical. It's not a clinical examination of your body, your arm, your body part, your liver, what's deteriorating. It's not like that. It's a very intimate relationship. So I'll leave you with that, because here belief and feeling are disconnected. And even when you have all these things taking place, activism and all that, I stopped doing it because you know what? Bono only cares about the Americans because the Americans give him the money. He can't tell me he loves me till the cows come home. It's a joke. He doesn't love me. He never loved me. The people who love me, they sacrificed for me. They made sure I had clothes, I have food, I had, my needs were taken care of. They came and visited me when I was classified as delusional and nobody else would come. And who came? Only my mother came and her husband. No one else came. All these people that claim to love me, to like me, to care about me, did any of them write to me, send me an email, send me a card, come and spend time with me? No one came. My brother came with his children. If I had the money, I would book a ticket and go to England, go and see my cousin and go and see Bhavna, see my brother, see Damien Howard. I would go. Because they're the only ones that kept in touch with me and that cared about what was happening to my faith and to my life, and who stood up to people who were saying I was delusional and that I was lying to the police. No one else did it. None of the companies did it. None of the employment agencies did it. None of them. Quo Vadis. Whose truth?